every once in a while, we're working on a case, and during the case, something comes up that I think is a public concern, especially when you're dealing with a defendant that's a government agency. And something like that happened recently in a case. And I think it's worth, from a public safety standpoint, for me to go ahead and start talking about this case that's pending, because I don't like to do it many times, but this is an area of public concern that involves children and child safety. So I think it's important enough for me to bring it up now. Let me set the scene. You may or may not recall that about 4 years ago now, and this case has been going on a bit, there was a substitute teacher at Gulf Breeze Elementary School that allegedly, he ended up pleading guilty, but he basically fondled 4 female students that were 9 and 10 years old, okay? That's number one. Obviously, a horrible situation, right? And so we investigated. We represent 3 of the 4 girls, and we investigated the situation and found out that a private company had been hired by the Santa Rosa County School District in 2015 to basically manage all the substitute teachers. They were to hire and fire and manage them. This company was called PESG. It's a Michigan-based company that has several pop-up shops, I'll call them, in different states in order to do business in those states. And one of their pop-up shops is in Florida. And when I say pop-up shop, what I mean is they actually rent an office that is basically a satellite office. And some of those are in those Regis office center spaces that are like you rent by the hour kind of places. So long and short of it is this company was set up to screen all the substitute teachers. And what had happened is when we got the case in of the girls that had been touched inappropriately by this teacher, we started doing some digging and found out that this particular teacher had actually had similar episodes at the Escambia County School District prior. Very similar conduct, touching inappropriately, rubbing hair of children, commenting on how pretty their hair looked, asking them to wear it a certain way, touching their arms, touching their shoulders. That was enough for Escambia County to ban this guy from their entire district. So he was banned from the entire Escambia County School District. And then what he did was he applied with the Santa Rosa County District, and they directed him to this company, PESG, that was taking over basically the staffing for substitutes. And so they hired him. All right. So the case started out against PESG for hiring this guy that they should have figured out had been banned from Escambia County. That was the case. Well, during the case, it started becoming apparent that Santa Rosa County School District still had some responsibility for observing and supervising the subs that PESG put into the school, because once you get put into the school, the administrators, in this case it would be Warren Stevens and a lady named McChesney, who's a assistant principal, they were responsible for supervising the subs once they were in the school. And so we started looking at the district, and it turned out the district potentially had some responsibility. So we brought them in the case. But before I brought them in the case, I did a public records request to the district, and I said, give me this man who had now pled guilty to multiple felonies, child abuse felonies, and is a sexual predator. Give me this sexual predator's, I used his name, give me his name, his file, his personnel file, right? And in response, the Santa Rosa County School District sent me his personnel file. It had no mention whatsoever of any issues, ever before. So I thought I was dealing with an anomaly, perhaps, thing that happened twice maybe, once in Escambia County or a couple times in Escambia County, and he got banned. And then he came over and he had an inappropriate touching situation there in Santa Rosa County, and then he has this. So then we start digging and we start requesting more and more information, and the school's being very slow. The district's being very slow about giving us this information during the case. And I have to hound them for this information. And so finally, we go through a couple of hearings with the judge in regards to discovery related to another defendant. And the school district finally gives me some documents. And I look at the documents, and it is a list of substitutes that the Santa Rosa County School District had provided to this company, PESG, and said, these are substitutes that you need to do your own screening for, but these are ones that we approve these people. Well, this child molester, sexual predator dude that was responsible for abusing our clients was on the list as it approved, but there was an asterisk next to his name on this list. And the asterisk said, this particular person was banned from Woodlawn Beach Middle School in 2011. But it didn't have anything else. It didn't say anything else. And so this document was given to PESG, this staffing company, that's responsible again for putting these substitutes into the classroom with your children, right? And this company, I guess, didn't care enough to ask even why this person was banned from one of the Santa Rosa County schools. But of course, that's what I'm here for, right? So yesterday in a deposition, I'm deposing the Director of Human Resources for the Santa Rosa County School District. We're going to put links to all this below so you can watch it yourself. But the Santa Rosa County School District human resource person, for the first time, I'm asking her, you see this notation on here that this particular man that caused these injuries to my clients, it says he was banned from Woodlawn Beach Middle School in 2011. Well before he went to Escambia County and got banned. Well before the 2016 event with my clients, right? In Gulf Breeze Elementary. So what is this about? This Woodlawn Beach. Oh, well, he got banned from that school. I said, well, what was he banned for? She first starts off saying, well, inappropriate language or comments. She went into detail about him calling somebody Russian, a girl Russian, or Russia. And so I found that weird. And I was like, well, where are you getting this information? What are you looking at? She goes, oh, I'm looking at his disciplinary file. And I was like, wait a minute. We asked you first of all, we asked him for all the documents that relate to Mr. Mann's employment, hiring, and they didn't give us this. And so it turns out, I said, well, man, we asked you way back when for his personnel file. He goes, well, this is not technically part of his personnel file. See, we call this his disciplinary file. And we put this in a separate file cabinet across the room from the personnel file cabinet. And we put a lock on that one too. And me and my staff are the only people that have a key to that lock. I'm like, okay. Well, you better give me that information. So we stopped the deposition. They sent the information. It's 4 pages. And I'm just going to read it to you. Michelle, can you hand me the 4 pages? I left them over there folded up. So here are the 4 pages that were in the disciplinary file that Santa Rosa School District had in a separate file cabinet from the personnel file, allegedly, right? And when I asked for the personnel file, despite me being the lawyer representing these children that were abused in one of their schools, they didn't think it was important enough to give us the disciplinary records for this man until yesterday when I busted them, basically. And so here we go. Richard Mack is his name. He's the sexual predator dude. And then we've got the assistant principal, of Woodlawn Beach Middle School. This is May 19th, 2011. He's writing the Human Resource Department at the Santa Rosa County School District, and he says, we respectfully request the removal of the substitute, Mr. Richard Mack, from our substitute list due to inappropriate touching of students. Mr. Mack was notified today that he would be removed. Thank you for your assistance in this matter. Signed, Will Noling. Thank you, Mr. Noling, for doing the right thing. Then we have, in this disciplinary file, that we had to pry out of the hands, basically, of the Santa Rosa County School District, we have a memo that describes the contact that this particular substitute had with minors. He put his arm around and twirled her shoulders and twirled her hair. This is a teacher, grown man, twirling the hair of a female middle school student. He gave a high five to another girl and then would not let go of her hand for several seconds and stared at her. The other girl, he had touched her arm, touched her hair, and when she was leaving the classroom, he said, "Bye, Russia." She didn't know the context of that because this particular human resource person said that's all they had in their file. And they didn't do any other investigation. They have no idea what else happened because they didn't check on it. So as you can see, it shocked me, the last page rather, was just a stamped page that showed when they got this stuff, May 23rd, 2011, and it's the Human Resource Office at the Santa Rosa County School District. We'll have links to these below this video. So I was shocked that now we've got a gentleman that had a disciplinary file that suggested he was had some issues inappropriately touching children so bad that they banned him from a school in Santa Rosa County. He then goes to Escambia County, gets employed, gets banned from the entire district there, comes back to Santa Rosa County in 2016. They do a very poor job of screening him, of course, because he's got all this stuff. They have a file cabinet full of disciplinary records. And by the way, this is why I'm having this video. There are other substitute teachers whose names were redacted who also have been banned from various schools in Santa Rosa County who have disciplinary records that apparently the school district doesn't care to look at. And this is what she told me, because I said, "Ma'am, when this man was arrested," I actually said, "When this man, Mac, you found out the day this happened to these 4 girls at Gulf Breeze Elementary, did you look through the file to see if there was a disciplinary history of this?" "Nope." "Okay. Ma'am, how about when he was arrested and charged with this, did you go look through his file to see if there's any evidence that he had done this before? Maybe it could have helped the prosecution, the state attorney's office, to prosecute him later. I don't know whether it's admissible or not, but did you do it then? As a public servant protecting the youth of the county, did you do it then?" "No. Why would I look in that folder? I have no reason to." So then I said, "Well, ma'am, how about when you got the public records request that I sent where I said, I'm a law firm representing these minors that have been abused. I would like to know if you could provide me with Mr. Richard Mack's entire personnel record, his files." "How about when you got that letter?" I wouldn't have looked. You didn't ask specifically for his disciplinary folder. And it's technically, she says, not part of his personnel files because it's a separate file cabinet that we keep those in. It was a cute answer. I got to give her that. It was very cute. However, we are dealing with people's children's lives. And so you can't play cutesy, in my opinion, with that stuff. So my point is this. This is a time-sensitive issue because, in my opinion, everybody that has a child in the Santa Rosa County school system should be emailing, and we're going to put their email addresses below here, emailing their district rep, whoever that is, and you should be asking this question. Why is it that there are substitute teachers and perhaps others? This case is not about teachers, and I'm not saying all teachers are bad. Certainly not. 99% of them are good. But there is evidently some substitute teachers on the accepted list by Santa Rosa County School District who are banned from other schools in the district. So the question you want to ask is, why is the Human Resource Department at the Santa Rosa County School District, why are they not reviewing those files to make sure there's no sexual predators or potential sexual predators on that list? Secondly, and more importantly perhaps, why is the county hiring a company to do this, PESG, and then either not making available the disciplinary records for them to look at, or not making them aware they exist. Because when I asked her yesterday, ma'am, when you gave the list of acceptable substitutes to PESG in order for them to do interviews and screen, because they were going to screen all these people again, in order for you to do that, for them to do that, did you give them the disciplinary files that related to why they were banned from those schools? No. Why would I do that? That was her answer. Again, I'm going to put links to her deposition. I'm going to put links to another deposition of the assistant principal at Gulf Breeze Elementary, because she gave some crazy testimony, in my opinion, too. She said that these girls, these minor children, actually egged on this abuse by going and asking to go to the bathroom, and one child asked to go to the clinic. And because of that, the assistant principal at Gulf Breeze Elementary School has the personal opinion that these girls, these young girls, 9 years old, egged on, enticed a grown man to grope them. That is who is looking after your kids. If I had a child in the Santa Rosa County School District system at all, I would be very concerned about who is paying attention to this stuff. The Human Resource Department is not. PESG, in my opinion, is not. The principals and assistant principal don't seem to be that concerned, and the assistant principal thinks that children that are 9 years old can bring sexual abuse on themselves, so there's some judgment issues there altogether. If you have kids in these schools and they are having substitute teachers, you need to take this upon yourself and ask the school board members to ask questions of the district employees. Why are they not doing this? How in the world can Richard Mack, who was banned from Woodlawn Beach School, how can this not come up when he is screened for another position with the district? And you got to ask, why would the Human Resource Department be so protective of these records that they won't even look at them? Shouldn't they be on the front side of this, being proactive about who is in the schools? Shouldn't they be looking for potential predators? Shouldn't they be erring on the side of caution for the kids? I would think so. You would hope so, right? Well, that's not what's happening in that county right now. I can tell you, based on my experience with this case, this deposition transcript is very clear. They are not being proactive with these people. They want to hide these records forever if they can. Don't let them. Don't let them. They're your records. It's your taxpayer money that's paying these people to work. It's your taxpayer money that's paying this company, PESG, to work. And they're not doing their due diligence. There's people that are in the purchasing department at the school district that's hiring this company to do this staffing without even knowing they have a $10 million tax lien in a different state. Who in Santa Rosa County is in charge of the school district? Who is running the show? And who has been running the show? It's out of control, in my opinion, and I think the parents need to take it back. If you have questions about any of these things, you can find us on the web at zarzaurlaw.com. All of these documents supporting everything I'm saying are going to be linked below. Check them out yourself. Okay? If you have further questions, you can find us on the web, or you can call us at 855-HIRE-JOE. Thank you.